Welcome back, Masters and Princesses, to another episode of Made News Network. I am your host, S.J. Nix. Today, we are here with a familiar face from our channel. This is Richard Hogan. Good morning, Richard.
Morning.
All right. So the reason we're sitting here with Richard today is, as far as I'm aware, Richard was the first guy to get the PRS that you see sitting over his shoulder in the back. And not only did he get one or maybe two, he also helped a lot of people find them in other places, not only just around the country, but around the world. We're going to get into that a little bit. We're going to show you yours. I've got mine down here. If you saw my unboxing video yesterday, so far it's doing quite well. It's got a lot of views behind it. Thank you for everybody who's watched it. Please share it out. I tweeted it at Kanami last night. We'll see if I get a like on that. I'm not holding my breath on that, but you never know. But before we dive into the PRSs, you have a ridiculous collection behind your head, sir. You have all three signed posters. Just give us a little rundown of how you ended up making that happen.
The poster on my left is a Kuji poster. So you get that in the lottery. It's 1,000 yen per ticket. I usually buy 10 when you go through the line, you're only allowed to buy 10. So I usually go through the line at least once, sometimes twice. If other people send me money, I might end up in the line 3 times. But that was one of the Kuji wins. And the Kujis, I've won 2 signed Miku buttons, this poster, a shirt, and a signed shirt, and 2 cards. But that's 7 shows this year in Japan, so 2 times through the line, 14 times.
Hey, you know what? You've got the Midas touch when it comes to that stuff. And then the other 2 were media buys.
Yeah, the Epic Narratives posters are from their media release, and only at their shows. Every 2,500 yen worth of media you purchased, you got a poster, and you could pick either one. So the first time I went, I bought a ton of media and got 13 posters and got 1 of each. And then for another Band-Maid fan, when I sent them pictures that I got them, they sent me money, and I bought another 12 posters worth of media and got him 1 of each. But I did make it clear to him that I cannot carry that much media back with me, so I handed it out to Japanese Band-Maid fans who were shocked because I'm pretty sure they think we Americans are crazy. Handing them Blu-rays from Yokohama. They were a little shocked.
Right. Oh. So, okay. So we're not talking like you just bought 2 copies of Epineros. You're buying the Blu-rays and giving away free Blu-rays. It's
about the amount of money. So to get the most posters with the least amount of money, you buy the Blu-rays.
Gotcha. Okay.
Otherwise, you end up with a whole bunch. If you buy CDs, and you need to buy 3 to 4 CDs per Blu-ray. Every 2,500 yen.
So an efficiency standpoint, it was easier to buy the Blu-rays because of the math.
Yeah, I gave away the majority of the media I bought too. I only bought a little bit back, but I usually mail all the extra stuff off to people I know.
Right. Yeah, so...
and all the extra posters, I mailed all those off to people too.
Right. Not to go off on too much of a tangent, but once you started getting... I mean, you dove in deep, it was 2022, right? You had all 13, 14 shows?
Yes, all 14, yeah.
It was pretty quickly you found yourself into the merge collectible side of things?
Yeah, not really intentionally. It just happens.
Right. And then once that happens, your network starts building, and the next thing you know, you're trading and buying for people and doing stuff and moving things around.
Yeah, I tend not to go look for things if collectors want to move stuff, and most of them are very generous with me and give me reasonably good prices. I will buy a good percentage of their media or whatever it is.
Right.
But I'm not specifically looking for it. I buy a lot of the band merch online through their store to support the band. Not because I want 114 shirts. It's because that's the best direct way to support them.
Is that where you're at now?
I do that with, yeah, I don't know. It's more than that because I just got back. I got a few more this time in Japan. Each show has an individual shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I do that with other bands too. If I go to their show, I try to buy at least a shirt or a CD or something.
Sure. But the level.
No other band is Band-Maid.
Right. Yeah. The level's unique to Band-Maid. So,
Yeah.
speaking of collectibles, this is a perfect segue into the PRS. So yours is right behind you. You're a musician. You're a drummer by
Yes.
Burgess. Yeah, hold on. I can't not. Sisters.
Yeah.
And we were talking off camera here. You smell this? The
Yeah.
lacquer smell is crazy strong on this thing. So you know it's like brand new, shiny, beautiful. Hold yours up a little bit. I think I like I need to see them side by side, but I think your figuring is nicer than mine. At least the way the light is. It's hard to tell. I don't know. Either way, it's beautiful.
It's
What's
so
your
much,
cereal?
The last 4 digits is 7872.
Okay, I got you beat by a few. 7866.
It's odd that it came first and it's a higher number because the ones on the Ish guitar, mine's right in between those.
Oh, okay.
And one thing people pointed out is it's got the white toggle switch.
Yeah, that's weird.
Worked in manufacturing for a year. I wouldn't put too much stock in mistake or not mistake or whether they pay attention or not.
I think
it could be, but
I think it's just a plastic sleeve anyway.
It is.
Yeah.
But the white matches the birds and the Band-Maid logo, so I'm perfectly fine with it. It ends up being the only one, then I think it's going to be the most unique one.
There you go. So
yeah, if you speaking of the lacquer, it looks so deep. I wonder how many layers of lacquer they put on it.
Yeah, you again off camera, but you used to work in a mill, and I used to do a bunch of woodwork. That's a lot of freaking lacquer to create that much depth in that wood because I've worked with wood like that, but I've made pens and small stuff like that. So the more you put, the deeper that gets. That lacquer's on there thick, and for it to still be off gassing, this was made. Let's see, what did it say? Well, December 18th, I think, is when it left the factory, or that's the born on date for it. So what are we? A month away? I guess it could still be off gassing if there's a lot on there. But I noticed that this morning when I opened the case. I'm like, woo, lacquer. But so again, by trade you're a drummer. You see the kit behind you. You bought this when you made this purchase, and I think we all, our little chat group, the minute it went live, everybody started looking for them and snatching them up as quick as possible. It was like I think we all purchased ours within 4 or 5 hours of it actually going live. So, and you bought it as a collector or as maybe I'll learn guitar on a really expensive guitar?
Yeah, yes. The second one, I'll learn guitar. So I did actually take guitar lessons when I was 9, 10, and 11. And I have a small 3/4 Guild hollow body electric. It's from 1965. It's an M65. They made like 100 a year for 5 years. They're actually kind of rare, but so unknown. They have a little bit of value. I've seen them go for as high as 2,000, but generally they go between 1,000 to 1,600.
Mm-hmm.
But there has to be a key. They got to be the right person, which is
sure.
And I'm not selling it. I mean, I've had it since I had it for 45 years. Mm-hmm. So I did play. So when I picked this up, I did know basic chords because I just took rhythm chord lessons,
Gotcha.
Back in the day of Eddie Rabbit and.
You're dating yourself, buddy.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm 55, so.
So the next time I see you, I want to hear you play "I Love a Rainy Night."
Yeah, no, I can't even remember what Eddie Rabbit's song was. I just looked through the sheet music and I'm like, I remember learning that, but I don't remember any of it. Let's put it this way: my sheet music is in The Empire Strikes Back Peachy. So.
All right. So we're going to take lessons on this. We're going to noodle. We're going to figure it out on our own. What are we doing?
So I'm figuring out on my own. Since it's been so long, I could play basic C, D, A, G chords with no songs. But to build up calluses and to get familiar with the fretboard, I've just been doing pentatonic scales and randomly switching between those chords. And then the normal rock or hard rock metal chord progression. I move that around. But started with 20 minutes a day for a few days and then up to 30 minutes because, man, the fingers are not there. And then I'm up to about 45 minutes a day. I'm, 9 days in, so.
Damn, good for you.
And then, because I started that, I hadn't really played my drums in 15 years, so I completely cleaned them, set them up. And so once I spend, whatever time I spend on the guitar, I spend the same amount on the drums. So.
Wow.
Like yesterday,
Okay.
I was 45 minutes on guitar.
So you're doing an hour and a half of music a day. That's awesome. That's really.
I want to get them both to an hour during the week, and then maybe up to 2 hours on the weekend. Depends on how much my wife can tolerate.
Fair enough. Yeah, kind of the same thing. All I have is I have a small little amp that I can set up and I can play, but I'm perfectly happy just playing unplugged. That brings us to another thing about this guitar. This guitar plays like butter, man. I love the Flappy Pigeon and it feels good. And Misa's bass, well, it's a bass, it's not a guitar. But this thing just feels different in my hands.
Yeah, you would know more than I do. The only thing I know is that picking up, you can tell it's quality. There are just some things in life, even if you don't have a frame of reference, you can pick it up and go, wow, they really put some love into building this. It's so different than my Guild, that they're just not even comparable kind of things.
Sure.
But,
yeah. And so let's see, if I include the, I think 8 stringed instruments, 3 of which are basses and the rest are guitars. This is, I mean, like you said, it's a whole different universe. It just feels balanced in your hands. And I've always liked baseball bat neck. So this being a thin neck is like perfect for me.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I've never had a guitar that's had, and I don't know if it's unique to PRSs, but I've never had a guitar that has coil taps. And just the amount of variety you get flicking with those things around, it's really crazy. You can completely change the sound of the instrument without touching the amp, which is really cool too.
Yeah, sometimes I get a sound I like, and then I'll be 2 days later, I'm like, wait, how did I do that? You're flipping levers up and down. It's like so many combinations. I need a chart on the wall.
Right. Okay. So that's your baby. That's the first one to come in. This is the one that one's yours, right?
Yeah. The first one. Yeah.
So, and then do you have another one coming in?
This one came from Brian's guitar in Connecticut. So.
Okay. All right.
No, there's 2 more coming to my house, but they were purchased for people who were traveling or were in a work situation and didn't want to miss one.
Right.
So the only benefit to them is that I live in Oregon, so they don't have to pay sales tax.
Right.
Even paying the extra shipping to them, many of them will save $300 to $600. So.
Oh, tell me about it, because my sales tax was $600.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that is what it is. Now, from doing once this kicked off, it was all hands on deck looking for them, because I think Sweetwater had 18. They sold out by 3 p.m. their time. So it was up for like 6-7 hours ish, something like that. And they were gone. Guitar Center had, was it 2 or 4?
Yeah, the Guitar Center people would not tell me how many they have. So, I have no idea how many they're really getting.
But Sweetwater accidentally, because Sweetwater was very open about the information with their guitars, and I know I was number 3. I have 18. That's where I have mine already. And I know that we know who got number 18, and then I know that they sold 19 by accident, which now isn't a problem because I know the person who had number 2 backed out of his. So that means number 19, who was promised one, will actually get it. But they shut it down. Guitar Center didn't. Guitar Center left it up for a couple of days, and I think we're just kept taking orders. And I don't know. Well, I don't know how they do it. I just know that they way went over whatever their allotment was. So if you got one from Guitar Center, unless you're, and now that I remember it's 4, unless you were one of the first 4, probably not going to get one. So sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They're going to disappoint people, but we'll see.
Because I think we personally know of 3 people, or at least 3 units reserved for the Guitar Center, and the chance of us knowing everyone who got one from Guitar Center being as big as ours is incredibly low.
Yeah, it could be 3 of the 4 for Guitar Center. It could all go to people we know.
Yeah, that, or just as likely that they took so many holds that we don't get it. Who knows? But which brings us to this kind of, we kind of dubbed you the PRS detective, because you were finding these in places that were no one ever heard. Everybody's like, no, they're all gone. All the major sources, they were gone within the first day, but then it became this Where's Waldo of guitars, and you helped someone get one. Like, didn't you find 2 somewhere like 2 weeks ago or something, like a week and a half ago?
Yeah, the ish guitar one. So I just happened to type it into Reverb to see if there was somebody who was trying to resell one that didn't actually have one.
Right.
And Ish Guitar, which is actually a retailer, so they're not reselling, had 2. And so I posted it to Cafe. And then within 15 minutes, the 2 people that bought them messaged me, said they bought them. So I put an update on the Cafe post that, oh, they're sold already in 15 minutes. Of course, people have to comment like, oh, they're sold. If you read the update, you would know they're sold. But
and that's just the way it was with these instruments. It was like they went so quick. I mean, much more expensive than the Flappy, and more than double the units, and they were gone almost. I can't say within days because the Ish ones popped up later on Reverb, but the vast majority of them were gone quick, whereas the Flappy stayed on the market for well over. I'm trying to think. Let's see. The first batch went relatively quick. It was in a couple of months because those were exclusive to Japan. And then they released the second set of 30, whereas the Midas USA got several units and then sold them domestically, which I have mixed feelings about. It was nice that it wasn't so expensive for other people, but I also like the fact that I'm in the first 50 as far as numbering goes. So it ended up being more expensive for me because I paid Peter a bounty before we were, long before M&M, before we were even close. I paid him a significant amount of money to hunt one down for me and then ship it here during COVID, which cost me $600 to ship.
Yeah. No, I helped several people get them. There was a lot of people complaining. I'm part of many chat groups.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are even on text, like their phone number text chat groups.
Right.
And people were complaining that they're all gone. And I'm like, where did you look? And they're like, well, Sweetwater. So I devised a scheme where I just Googled PRS vendors and opened 10 to 20 tabs at a time and would message all of them in their chat messages.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't have that, I would email them if they have one. And then I would send out which store had them in my different groups of people. And that's how, I'm not sure quite how many. I think 6 or 7 guitars I helped facilitate, maybe more. I don't know if everybody bought the ones I sent links to.
Right. All right. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, so several people have said everybody needs to record, either take a picture with it and then make a collage for Min Show, or play a little bit and record it and send it to her. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting somebody who really knows how to play it and send it to her.
Yeah, exactly. But so if you're out there and you got one of these, obviously we're going to wait a little while before we do this because they're just now starting to go out. Only a few people have these. But if you get one, take a picture with it. You can send it to Made News Network. That's madenewsnetwork@gmail.com. And Peter and I will throw a little collage together once these make it out there. And I think that'd be a cool little gift to send her. Do that. And that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this was just a short little chat, man, to talk about the PRSs a little bit. Is anything else you want to add?
No, I got it.
Right on. When's the next one due?
Good thing to waste your money on.
I wouldn't call it a waste of money, man.
No, it's not.
I understand why it's, how much it has it. I understand why it is what it is price wise.
Yeah, it is. The cost is justified. When you hold it, you're like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know when the next one, one's coming from Righteous Guitars and the other one's coming from Miami Guitars, and both of them said late January, early February.
Okay. Yeah, even Sweetwater didn't get a bulk shipment. They trickled in. So as they come in, they notify the person in line who's up next.
Yeah.
So technically, I got the second one that Sweetwater had coming. So it'll be a couple more weeks before they all go out.
It was interesting contacting so many stores. Probably 2/3 of the ones I contacted had already sold theirs, and most of those contacts were in the first day.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't just me. Somebody else had figured out, started emailing everybody and chatting with them.
All right. All right. Well, cool. Richard, thanks so much, buddy. It was good talking to you. Maybe we'll do it again. I know you're going back. I know you got tickets for a bunch of the shows coming up in Japan in the springtime. I think we all expect them to see them back maybe in the fall. We don't know yet, but I figure around Day of Maid, or probably before Day of Maid, we'll start getting some information when they're coming back and where they're going internationally. And then it's dead sprint for tickets and travel arrangements for shows and see who goes where.
Yeah, it would make sense in the U.S. if they were coming here. It would be the spring or fall for festivals. And we already know their spring schedule in Japan, so that's not happening. So if it's fall, it's U.S. centered around U.S. festivals or European festivals or wherever they decide to go.
We'll find out soon enough. All right, Richard, thanks for hanging out for a little bit. Thank you all for watching. I'm SJ Nix for Made News Network, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, I always forget this. Like, subscribe. There's actually, we actually have a store where you can buy crap. No one buys it. That's totally fine. Get yourself a coffee mug. If you don't, that's fine too. Anyways, we'll see you next time on Made News Network.